So one interesting aspect to the Bitcoin conference is seeing the intersection of Bitcoin and other fields of human endeavor. And we're going to listen to Jens Wegmann speak to us about the intersection of Bitcoin and education.
Yeah, so let's welcome aboard.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. In the next 15 minutes, I want to talk about why we don't teach Bitcoin in schools yet. And I want to put a little disclaimer because what I'm going to say could be quite provocative. I want to provoke a little bit. Many teachers love what they do. Many teachers are good teachers and give their best. Many schools are trying their best. And I do not own the truth. So what I say is more an opinion and also some statements, assumptions, where I do not say that's a fact. I just assume it. As I was talking to people, it was always the same. If it's politics, if it's health, it doesn't matter. It was always the same source where our discussion ended, and it was like, yes, it's about education. And I think many things in life start with the education. If you don't know nothing about the financial system, how could you know about Bitcoin? If you're not educated in different topics, how can you be independent and self-sovereign? And I say education is the cause and solution of almost every problem. Not like problems we can't interfere with. And who am I and why can I talk about this today? Or why am I talking about this today? My name is Jens Wegmann. I am from Bavaria in Germany. So the talk today will also be more German because I don't know all the school systems, but I pretty well know the German and Bavarian school system, and it is more or less similar all over the world. 31 years old, and there was a point in life where I saw how school is going. I've been to at least 10 or 15 schools where I got some insights, also different levels, different ages, and I saw, well, that's not what I studied for, and that's not what I kind of wanted to do. So I had to question myself, am I adapting to the system, or am I looking for a way out? And I found a way out, and I got an offer to be a teacher and a principal of a small Montessori school in Bavaria. We have around 60 kids, and I'm really happy that I found this, because in the system I do not think I could have gotten old in a nice and healthy way. On my agenda today will be the situation in schools. Who of you has kids in schools? Also some. So school system and educational system also is an issue that every parent comes across. There will be some memes. I will put a controversial thesis, and in the end I want to put like an utopian or dystopian view, and I want to talk about why we need Bitcoin in school and how we could bring Bitcoin more into schools. Let that sink in for a moment. So school is, I'm going to talk about the situation in schools. And I put this number here because that's more or less when in Germany and like it was mandatory to go to school and when the system was all founded. And 260 years later, we still have pretty much the same old structures, which means we change the chalkboard with a whiteboard, but we did not adapt as much as we could have and as we should have. Then we have a crazy teacher shortage. I know in Germany everyone can become a teacher right now, and I did some research on it. It's in the other countries, it's similar. This teacher shortage also leads to sometimes the teacher's effort. Many teachers are going for a good effort, and their salary is low, their effort is high. And so if you're good in math or in a specific discipline, you will not work in a school because you won't earn enough. You go to the free market and in the private sector, and you will earn way more. Also, the skill like the education of teachers itself is not that well. I can tell. I was in Germany, we start school in September, and I was getting into this class in January, and I was their 4th teacher in this year in English. And the teacher that had the class before me, she was a nurse and did not even speak English. So that's kind of the situation in many schools, I guess. In Germany, Bavaria for sure. The next thing I want to talk about is the curriculum. Many times we learn things we don't really need, some things we do need, but there could be way better curriculums and topics that we, like personal development, which will be another point. So all of this, the old structures, teacher shortage, we also have huge groups. I had a group of 60 kids just 1 week or 2 weeks before their math exam. So how could you be like individual with them? That was crazy. And all of this also is from a centralized educational system. The educational system is less centralized than many other systems because we still have from state to state, we have some private schools, but still, for me, if a school has more than 500 or 600 students, it is already pretty centralized. And sometimes you have like the fair selection, please climb that tree. So who's gonna make it? That's also not that well. So, what I already told you, we have little to no focus on problem-solving skills and personal development, which all will lead us to way more in life and to a better future. We don't teach it. Or we don't teach it enough. We teach it and some sort of, but the structures in general are not made that we like get the best students out. And all of this leads me to this beautiful word. I would say if you follow the rules, if you obey the teacher, you are more likely to have good grades. And if you're more active and if you're just don't fit into the system, you are more likely to struggle. And that's pretty fucked up, I would say. And all of this combined leads me to my assumption and my assumption may contain an opinion that could be distressing or upsetting to some individuals. Few discretion is advised. So, I also call it my favorite conspiracy theory, and it's like the school system itself is specifically designed to turn us into mindless, obedient slaves who pay their taxes and don't think much independently. Are used to a system of consumption, we get driven into Netflix, other delivery services for food, and driven into dependence as well. So, to sum it all up, where could Bitcoin play a role in this? Because this all does not add up well with the Bitcoin values and with all Bitcoin stands for. But that's also the reason why I say why we need Bitcoin in school. we need Bitcoin in school because the values of Bitcoin, which are, it challenges traditional power structures, and all of those values do not really go well with what I said until now. And it embodies our freedom and self-empowerment. It's pure individual responsibility. You better not have boating accidents where you lose all your private keys. And also, it requires understanding, not just memorizing, of facts and formulas, because that's what happens in school also. You just, you call it bulimie, studying. You teach, learn, and then you just don't need it anymore. You just need it for the test. All of this leads me to all of this, what I said, was maybe a little negative, maybe a little bit pessimistic, but as I am a principal of a small school, I can say during the last years there was already a rethinking of parents. Parents now, I think COVID was a big deal with that, which made people and parents for the first time kind of knew what's going on in schools, and they say like, whoa, this is going on in schools, that's crazy. And they rethink, they see the value of a good education, and they're putting their kids more into private schools, or they are way more focused on getting their kids good education. For me also, the concept of free private cities, I guess some of you already heard about that. I would love to see free private schools in a kind of way as well. As we all want the decentralization of the educational system, I'm also here for a decentralization of the educational system, because people have different needs. People have different topics they want to have. And more than that, I'm also open to have a way more open, way more privatization of the educational sector. Because with that, you have more choices. What are my values I want to learn, or what are my values in life? Because for me, many things start with the values you have. And now I'm gonna go how Bitcoin, how I already tried to start doing it in my school, and how I think Bitcoin should be applied in schools. It's about values. And those values, I'm also open to have CBDC schools. If your values are you don't want to have any freedom, you don't want to have any free choice, okay, then you can choose your CBDC school where everything is made up for you. You don't have to care much about things. But I think there should also be schools that teach those values: self-sovereignty, independence, freedom, that empower the kids, and also the broader understanding of things. And those values, I'm not a big fan of, yeah, let's do Bitcoin. Tomorrow we have Bitcoin from 8 to 10, and you're coming and I'm gonna teach you about Bitcoin. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of bringing the values into school, and if you bring those values into a school, the students will automatically ask, in a specific age, there's this Bitcoin, what is this about? And they will be intrinsic motivated to learn about it. Because if I come here and say, yeah, now we're gonna do Bitcoin, it's top down. What I think is better, and that's also my final thought, sorry, my final thoughts on this is I want to bring it to schools bottom up, which means first talking about the finance system. What is money? Why we need money? Why we need Bitcoin? What's the problem with the fiat system right now? And I would not do Bitcoin workshops in school. I would do finance workshops, because then people will see, oh, okay, something in the system is really broken, and they will ask for Bitcoin and will discover Bitcoin as a way to fix this. You can do a lot of things in math where you use mining. The one who's solving some things first is gonna get the reward for that. And I wanna arouse curiosity, which is super easy because those kids, they want to learn. They want to know new things. They are super open to the technical developments we have. They know way more than their parents. And a good way to just give them Lightning wallets. They will do their thing. And all of those things combined should be in schools, or at least in some schools, not in the CBDC schools. And more than that, I want to say thank you. If you have any questions, I don't know how much time we have. All right, then I just say thank you. I'm open to talk. I'm open to discuss those opinions too. And thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. All right.